F. Elmore, President and founder of the Proud Black Buddhist World Association. We are not only the Black Buddhist force in America, we are the Black Buddhist force in the world. And me, Anthony F. Elmore, is the Blackest Buddhist in America. When we say black, we don't mean race. We mean culture. We are the Blackest Cultural Buddhist in the world. And today, we bring you another exciting Black Buddhist lecture. Now, my lecture today is titled Buddhism and Brittney Griner, a Black Buddhist Lecture. The reason that I chose this topic is because in August of 2022, we see that Brittney Griner had a harsh sentence of 9 years in prison for less than 1 ounce of cannabis oil. Now, the reason that we chose this topic is because Buddhism is Black history. In fact, it is the history and culture of Black people, and that the original Buddhists were Black people in India. Even today in India, the people who we know as the Dalits are the original Black people. And Buddhism was in Africa 1,000 years before it even got to Japan. Now what has happened is the Asians, particularly the Japanese, and people who practice Mahayana Buddhism, they have extricated all Black history, culture, and language from Buddhism. You see, Mahayana Buddhism is the time where all Black history, culture, and language was extricated from the Buddhist teachings. Now, again, my lecture is Buddhism and Brittney Griner, a Black Buddhist Lecture. I am a proud Black Buddhist and I practice a Buddhism inclusive of my Black culture, history, and language. The Buddhism that I practice and that Black people can get on board with and understand is a Black Buddhism that includes our Black culture and history. In my talk about Buddhism today, I again use the story of Britney Griner. Now, she is the WNBA, or the Women's Basketball Association, superstar. Britney Griner is from Houston, Texas, and she was born on October 18th, 1990. And at the time of this lecture, she's 31 years old. Now, Brittney Griner is the only player in the NCAA basketball to score 2,000 points and 500 block shots. The question that you may ask is, how does Brittney Griner and this story relate to Buddhism? You see, the Buddhism that we practice is the only religion that can comprehensively answer the question of Brittney Griner. You see, we practice the Buddhist teachings as taught by the 13th century Black Japanese Buddhist sage Nichiren Shonin, who taught the teachings of the Buddha Shakyamuni. Now, this is what Nichiren writes. Now, the way that Nichiren taught Buddhism, or the way that we understand Buddhism, is through writings of Nichiren called the Go-Sho. The Go-Sho is a compilation of letters that Nichiren wrote teaching his disciples, and this is called the Go-Sho, or the teachings of Nichiren. Now, there's a Go-Sho called Letter from Sato that kind of relates to Brittney Griner or as Black people or life in general. Now the Go-Sho is called Letter from Sato, and it reads, quote, "A sutra states that both the crow's blackness and the heron's whiteness are actually deep stains of their past karma. The non-Buddhists fail to recognize this and claim it was the work of nature, or some say it's the work of God. You see, we are who we are, and what we are is because of karma. You see, Buddhism teaches that we have lived in many existences, and we are who we are today is the result of things that have happened in the past, and who will be in the future is a result of things we would do that we're doing today. We use the story of Britney Griner to teach Buddhism to Black America. You see, Buddhism equals that all life occurrences are what we call karma. Now, how the Buddhism that they practice differs from the Abrahamic religion. See, the Buddhism that we practice, Buddhism differs from the Abrahamic religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. You see, Christianity and Islam teach, and in the black community, like if you address someone in the black community and you say, how you doing? They say, God is great, or God is good. You see, now, how does Buddhism differ from this? You see, the phenomena of occurrences is not a matter of God, or it's a matter of free will. You see, if free will is not an act of God, you see, let us look at WNBA superstar Brittney Griner, who has been in jail in Russia since February of 2022 for having less than a half an ounce of cannabis oil. And she was sentenced to 9 years in prison this August 2022 for drug smuggling charges. America and some Americans are outraged at this unfair and harsh sentence. We at the Proud Black Buddhist World Association see a rainbow after this storm. The reason that we can see a rainbow after this storm is that because Buddhism teaches us that for every disadvantage, there are certainly advantages. And Buddhism wakes us up to the advantages of challenges that we have and help us to become stronger. Now, in the case of Britney Griner getting arrested, Americans do not blame God, they blame Russia. And they ask Russia to free Britney Griner. And no one talks about religion regarding Britney Griner. Now, the Buddhist teachings of the 13th century Black Japanese sage Nichiren Shonin says that he deals with the case of not only Britney Griner, but the Buddhist teachings of Shakyamuni taught by Nichiren explains all phenomena. You see, phenomena is explained in a Nichiren Gosho titled The True Aspect of All Phenomena. You see, in the Gosho, there's a paragraph that reads, quote, "No one but Nichiren has ever revealed teachings like these. Though Tentai and Mayo and Dingo knew about them in their hearts, they never put them into words. They went about their lives keeping this knowledge to themselves, and there was good reason for this," unquote. You see, let's first look at the phenomena of Britney Griner. She is not only a woman who is 6 feet 9 inches tall, she is perhaps the most talented female basketball player in the world. I would like to also take this lecture to forbidden area that most religions do not talk about, and let us delineate Buddhism from the practice of religions that have things like the Ten Commandments and certain moral questions. You see, in Buddhism, everything is about the law of cause and effect. Now, one of the things I want to delve into about Britney Griner, because you can look at her playing basketball, or you can see her or you may listen to her talk, which they say she may sound like a man, or you can look at her life and understand that she's a lesbian. But one of the things I want to get into, in 2015, Britney Griner did a photo. She did some nude photos in an ESPN. Now, when you look at Britney Griner, who is 6 feet 9 inches tall, and she wears a 17-inch shoe, and she got those tattoos, and she's a lesbian, she's dressed like a man, and when you hear her talk, to some she sounds like a man. When I saw them naked pictures of her, my entire perspective of her changed. You see, Buddhism explains, see, she may be a lesbian, but she's still a woman. And sometimes when we look at her, we're not looking at her being a woman, and we're not as sensitive. I want you to look at some pictures of her, and these are nude photographs of her that she took in 2015 in the ESPN. Now, in writing this lecture, I fell in love with Britney Griner. In the 2015, she published nude in the ESPN Naked Body issue. Britney Griner is quoted as saying, quote, "I just want people to see something that embraces being naked, embraces everything about them being different." Now, I like the idea that Britney is being different, and I certainly like the idea of her being naked. ESPN, she says, embracing naked, and I appreciate it. Let me tell you about Britney Griner. She is also a Black revolutionary hero. She uses her celebrity status to make change in the world. In 2019 interview with People, Griner stated, "People tell me I'm going to break the barrier and trailblazer. I just kind of look at it like I'm just trying to help out. I'm trying to make it not as tough for the next generation." You see, in 2013, Griner was featured on the cover of ESPN magazine, whereas she appeared in the, quote, taboo issue. She's pictured holding a snake, which is her favorite animal, and because they are misunderstood. She says you just have to look at it in a different way. So she is one who fights for justice, because as a kid, she was bullied, she was misunderstood. People got her wrong, even when she was a daddy's girl. Now, she told her mother she was a lesbian, but when she was a senior in high school, and she told her dad that she was a lesbian, she was a daddy's little girl, and her dad kicked her out the house. So she has had a lot of challenges coming up, and she wants to make a difference. You see, in 2020, Griner, along with teammate Brianna Turner, called for the NBA, the WNBA, to stop playing the United States national anthem before games. She made her remarks after the Mercury players refused to take the floor during a pre-season game in Brandon, Florida. Griner said she was protesting the killing of Breonna Taylor as part of a wider George Floyd protest. She said during a media teleconference, quote, "I honestly feel that we should not play the national anthem during our season. I think we should take that much of a stand." She said that she does not believe that the national anthem should be played at sporting events. She does things like a man like Colin Kaepernick. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee protesting, he lost his job. Now, because she's the #1 player in the WNBA, she is able to take a stand, and she took a stand. You see, again, the Buddhist teachings of the 13th century, Black Japanese sage Nichiren Shonin deals with the case of not only Britney Griner, but the Buddhist teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha taught by Nichiren explains all phenomena. You see, all phenomena is explained in a Nichiren Gosho titled The True Aspect of Phenomena. You see, the first sentence states, the Expedient Means chapter in the first volume of the Lotus Sutra states, quote, "The true aspect of all phenomena can only be understood and shared between Buddhas. The reality consists of the appearance, the nature, the entity, power, the influence. Then you have the inherent cause, you got the latent effect, you got the latent effect, you got the manifest effect. You know, you got all this consistency from the beginning to the end. Now, you see, there is one problem. You see, there is one problem that Britney Griner brings to white America. Now, even though the government is complaining, or the world is complaining about her getting 9 years for simple cannabis oil possession, in America, we are hypocrites in that we have millions of people in jail for marijuana, non-violent offenses, who got marijuana charges. Now, you see, Britney Griner is a 2-time gold medal winner. She represents the pride and the winning spirit of America. Because Britney Griner is who she is, she has got the attention of President Joseph Biden. At the same time, because she's outspoken, black, and a proud woman, when you, which have in America, you have people like Donald J. Trump siding with Russia. And you had a conservative saying that she should be locked up. You see, what is happening here in America is that the conservatives want her locked up because there is a culture in America that marginalizes black people. See, in other words, when there is somebody who's strong, like a Bill Cosby, they want to put you in jail, they want to discredit you, they discredit a Michael Jackson or any black person is loved because it's white supremacy and racism. And this is the kind of thing that Buddhism teaches because it gives you an understanding of human nature. Now, the problem with Britney Griner brings to white America is that there are over 8 million arrests for marijuana in America. Black people are 4 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana than white people. The story of Britney Griner shines light on the disparity of marijuana arrests. We in America can look at what Russia does and complain, whereas our laws and treatment of black Americans are more harsh than Russia. You see, in Russia, and you're black or white, can be locked up in jail. In many cases with law enforcement in America, black people are shot and killed, or they lose their life. for the same identical thing, or for even a mere traffic stop, black people get killed. This is the injustice that's in America. This is the question that Black Buddhists in America ask. Would you rather be a Britney Griner being arrested in Russia for marijuana, or a black person arrested by a racist cop, or facing a racist system in America? You see, in America, black people lose their lives or get beaten. If you are black in America, you are 4 times likely to get arrested for marijuana than a white person. Let's see if we can explain Buddhism and Brittney Griner. I want you to look at a chart here. Look at the chart. Now, the Lotus Sutra explains the 10 aspects of all life phenomena. You see, Buddhism has a teaching called Ichinin Sanzen, which is 3,000 realms in a momentary state of existence. We're not going to go over the whole teaching, but we will go over the 10 aspects, or the 10 realms. Now, all phenomena in the universe is governed by these 10 aspects of phenomena or happening. What I want you to learn about is the first is the 7th aspect called relationship. Another name for relationship is called karma. You see, we all have relationship or karma. You see, if your karma, it is your karma, whether you have a good relation or a bad relationship. Let me take myself, for the most part, let me talk about myself for the most part. For the most part, like, I have fair relationships with white America. Whereas if you are Oprah Winfrey or you are Michael Jackson, you have great relationships with white America. See, or if you're Barack Obama, you see, relationships that we have, this is called karma. All things that we do are the result of things we do is a result of karma. Now, like, for example, some people have a great relationship with cannabis oil or with cannabis, whereas Britney Griner has a terrible relationship in that she's locked up in jail. Now, let's get to Britney Griner and her relationship with cannabis oil. Britney Griner has a karma, a relationship with cannabis oil. A relationship can be positive or negative. Now, the relationship starts with what? The first aspect in all phenomena is called appearance. The appearance has what? Number 2, a nature. And a nature has number 3, an entity. Now, an entity, when an appearance, a nature, and an entity come together, it creates power. The fact that you have a world-class black woman with cannabis oil in her bag in Russia, it is powerful. You see, that power leads to influence. You see, the influence leads to number 6, which is an inherent cause. An inherent cause is kind of like dynamite. When you got some dynamite and you light it up, it's going to explode. All things, all phenomena has an inherent cause. Now, let me explain the inherent cause a little bit further. You see, this inherent cause that she had, or the relationship with the karma, caused her to be in a situation. You see, in Russia, you have America's number 1 female basketball star caught with an illegal substance. Whether she was given 9 years, whereas she was given 9 years in a maximum sentence, she pleaded guilty of the crime, which is latent effects. You see, there are things that would happen that has not happened yet, but these are latent effects. Now, what are the latent effects? What are the latent effects that's going to happen? Many the latent effects going to happen to Britney Griner. Now, Britney Griner is now a pawn or a bargaining chip for the chess game of life. Because she is an American Basketball Association star, America will trade her release with the release of a Russian who were detained in America. Americans may have to give up more because President Biden has to get this American hero home. Now, what will happen is number 9, and that is a manifest effect. So when you look at this, appearance, nature, you got appearance, you got a nature, you got an entity, you got a power, you got an influence, you got an inherent cause, you got a latent effect, you got a manifest effect. See, all of these things are what Buddhism teaches. These are 10 aspects of Buddhism. Now, what would happen is number 9. That is a manifest effect. The result, that initial appearance. Now, I would like to go and not talk about the whole 3,000 realms. You see, we use Britney Griner's story to introduce particularly black people to Buddhism. Most black people fear Buddhism because we see Buddhism as a religion where you do not believe in God. You see, this is not the case for us proud black Buddhists. See, who very much believe in God or gods. You see, let me explain. It is not the cards that we're dealt, but it is how we deal with the cards. This is how Buddhism teaches us. You see, we who live in the world most often do not need wonders. We need wisdom. Let me give you an example. The worst thing that can happen in life on planet Earth is being heartbroken. When you love someone and they don't love you back, this can kill you or make you not want to live. Through practicing Buddhism, I learned to get over, say, the heartbreak. Some people go through life and not get over it. Let me tell you a Buddhist story. You see, Tina Turner used Buddhism to overcome her suffering. The story of Tina Turner is the story of Ike Turner, who they don't talk about. You know, the story is about Ike Turner is that every single day, Louis said that Ike Turner would go and watch videos of Tina, and he was in a lot of pain because the woman walked out and left him, and he regretted all of his life how much of what he had done, and not to even be forgiven for what he had done. So this man was living a living death, a nightmare. Now, you see, Buddhism teaches this. Let me explain. Someone gives you lemons and you turn it into lemonade. Buddhism teaches that when you have stumbling blocks, you turn them into stepping stones. In Buddhism, there is a Buddhist practice or a term in Japanese called Hendoku Iyaku, which means to change poison into medicine. Now, in the case of Britney Griner, what we have is number 8, latent effects, and number 9, manifest effects. Let me explain that the New York Post, you see, it says Harris labeled hypocrite after condemning Britney Griner jail term. You see, we also got Edwin Musk's scathing take on Biden's push to free Britney Griner. You see, millions of Americans have been locked up for marijuana. And what the Russians are doing, we are even worse. You see, it is hypocrisy for America to criticize Russia when black people are 4 times more likely to be jailed for marijuana than a white person. In some states, marijuana is legal, and in some states it's a crime. Britney Griner was to get 9 years of prison sentence, whereas some people for marijuana just can't even vote. Their lives are affected forever. Anyway, let me end this Buddhist lecture with changing poison into America. Brittney Griner will be a hero. Yes, she's a hero. Yes, the president will get out of jail. Yet they'll make a trade, and she'll get a book deal, she'll get a movie deal, and she'll be a hero. So anyway, as a black advocate who spoke up for Breonna Taylor and George Floyd, she'll be a great advocate, and she speak up for the LGBTQ community. Brittney Griner is a source of black pride and the new America. Anyway, I am Anthony Elmore, President and founder of the Proud Black Buddhist World Association, bringing you a Black Buddhist Lecture, Buddhism and Brittney Griner. Thank you very much.